Hey, what's going on YouTube? Coming back at you today because I got another movie review. And today we will be talking about Annabelle Comes Home. And Annabelle, if you haven't been caught up to date with what this movie is, Annabelle's out of the Conjuring universe. If you've seen any of these type of horror films, the Conjuring 1 and 2 came out a couple of years ago. Had the original Annabelle creation. The Nun is part of this. The Curse of La Llorona, and some other like short things that came out as well. But the latest installment of the Conjuring universe is Annabelle Comes Home, and I gotta say, just coming off of it, first of all, I've got this little thing right here. See when it comes out, which is gotta get the hashtag in there too. But first initial thoughts for this movie, as I always like to think, as soon as I come out of the theater, is this movie was jumpy, it was intense in some moments, but it is what it is. I mean, I really, really like The Conjuring. Like, I really do. I thought The Conjuring was some of the best horror films. The both of them. I thought they were some of the best horror films made up to date. And Annabelle I thought was pretty good. Annabelle Creation I thought was okay, but Annabelle Comes Home, I don't know. First of all, the whole idea of Annabelle Comes Home, I don't even get how the name fits into the movie. Like, I really do. The comes home part, I can't really gather the fact of what is that entitled. Even looking at the saying, miss me, you see it in the movie, but like I don't understand like what does it mean? I don't get how it implies to like the carnage and the malicious things that this possessed doll does in the movie. So this movie starts off with Lorraine and Ed Warren, who's played by reprising their roles in Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. And I'm not sure. I should look this up. I believe initially that they were not on board for this film, and even if they were not, they weren't really the focus of this film. And obviously, they're demonologists where their idea is to try to keep Annabelle at whole, so she's not wreaking havoc. They know she's possessed and all the things that which she's capable of doing. So in the beginning of the movie, you see the two of them actually taking possession of Annabelle another family, and ironically, as soon as they get her, they automatically the trouble immediately starts happening. Coincidentally, car breaks down in Maryville Cemetery. Fast forward, they get home. They need a priest. They end up putting her in the glass casing that we've seen her in the previous movies. And then after that, movie jumps a little bit. The parents, because they have a daughter in this movie, which is Judy Warren. They leave her with the babysitter. As the two of them, they go off to handle another case. They handled plenty of cases in the other stories, and it's the same thing. They're off to see another case, which I'm curious to see because we don't get to see what they got to do in this movie. Maybe the possibilities of that case is in a future movie or whatever. So this movie focuses basically around Judy and her struggle of being the daughter of the two of those who she's in school. She's in a Catholic school where not only she's integrated with people in her grade, but older people and so forth. So her babysitter, who they leave her with, is also in school with her too. But she's one of the people her babysitter understands, because the babysitter has been with her for a long time. She understands the family. While she's in school, Judy's in school, she's struggling from being bullied and all types of stereotypes because of what her parents do. There was an article put out about her parents. Are they considered heroes, or are they considered a hoax? And kids being bullies as they are, they approach her like, do you see ghosts, all this other stuff. And she's a strong girl. She really is. She doesn't let too much of it get to her. But considering that a lot of this is happening around the time of her birthday, she's feeling the effects of the bullying and the parents' influence of this, because some of their parents don't want their around, do not want their kids around her because of the fact that she may be haunted or the family may be crazy and so forth. So, you see a girl who has learned so much about the study of demonology and actually just being a kid trying to grow up. You see some of the conflicts with her, and it's an interesting thing for sure. But while all this is happening, again, the doll is like a beacon for bad spirits. It's something that they said in the movie, and you see the emphasis of that. At the same time, the daughter is seeing things. You see her being in the beginning of the movie. You see her being followed by what appears to be a priest, maybe a protector at this point, because something I'm gonna talk about in a little bit. This is even why the fact of Annabelle is not even, she is sealed, she's contained, and the daughter is still seeing that. The daughter's really high in her faith. You see her frequently pray at times. She carries a cross and so forth. While all this is happening, this movie's using basically a classic score. When I say classic score, I mean like the classic score from the older movies, but also like a classic horror film score at the same time. And this movie at points even felt like an old 80s, early 90s horror film and so forth. But at the same time, too, her babysitter friend has a friend. And her friend happens to be just the bad omen of the group. She's curious. She wants to bend the rules a little bit. And at the same time, like, wow. And I should be naming who the people is real quick. Right. So I need, like I'm saying, get the names. So Mary Ellen, the babysitter, who's played by Madison Iceman, who you've seen from Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, also on Goosebumps 2. She has this friend of hers who. So Mary is the one that just wants to do the right thing, as most babysitters do, and rules about taking care of the daughter, time savviness, being a protector of her, not only just at home, but also in school. Since again, they all attend the same Catholic school. So she's involved with her entire time while the parents are gone. While at the same time, the third member of this what we just call triad right now, who's played by Katie Sharif, which you've probably known from Supernatural, is Daniela. She is the person that, again, she's the curious one. She wants to, like, she's like, she has this like motive that's not quickly obvious, but she wants to know, like, what's the really big deal in this house. The parents are gone. She finds it as an opportunity for her to be able to snoop. So she asks if she can come over. And when she comes over, they're preparing for Judy's birthday. So Katie brings her, Carrie, Daniela brings over some skates. Judy instantly loves them. Mary says, "Hey, we're baking a cake. I need you to, watch the cake while we go out and test out these skates." And ever since then, that's when Daniela goes above and beyond. She snoops around the house. She finds the room. She's instantly was told not to touch anything, not to do anything. She finds the big room that she's not supposed to be in. The room, the shrine that has all of the artifacts from all the previous cases and other things. We know everything in this room has either been possessed, used in some type of ritual, or any type of killing of some sort. So it's all nothing but negative vibes in there. And she goes in there, and she finds the keys. She's even in the house saying stuff like, "Please give me a sign. If there's a spirit, give me a sign or something." And she doesn't instantly get a sign, which I'm glad it wasn't like that, because that would have been hella cheesy. But she ends up finding her way in there. She touches everything. Come to find out, the motive that she has is that she was in a car accident with her dad, where she was driving, and her dad ends up dying here, and so she's looking for a way to figure out how to interact with her dad that passed away, and she figures out this is a way, because she's been grieving the fact that she's to blame for her dad passing, and it just sends her in this swirl of just mischief touching and doing everything, and it ultimately comes to the demise of Annabelle being released in the house, and it gets crazy from there. And Daniela, she knew that the parents had ways to talk to or exploiting the afterlife. She knew there was a way. So that kind of drove her into this whole voyage of trying to communicate with her dad. But it comes at the demise of Annabelle being released. Annabelle's a beacon of evil, so it unleashes tons of evil spirits, and even all the other things that she's touched has also been awakened. So this movie again was really loud, really chilling, and it had some good moments in it as well as far as being a horror film. You see Judy in this movie. She's actually the young daughter, like I said. You see her actually becoming like the adult. You see her act like Lorraine in this movie too. Also, just a second to say rest in peace in Lorraine Warren, the actual person that this character is based off of, who's actually passed in 2019, recently this year. But you do see Judy at times capture being the more responsible and just moments of what her mom would do in this movie, which was cool. But this looking over the last bit of my notes here, I will say that there's one thing that this movie was kind of slow from the beginning. I think about 45 minutes to the hour mark is when a lot of the jumpy, really like crazy nonsense, and the movie gets really loud at the points. And the loud stuff is good because while it's quiet at times, and I thought some of the low camera light shots was really good to the point that I even in these movies you may see something in the background and then it's so low, the lights are so low at times that you do see things, then sometimes you think you're seeing things. And I think it does a lot of good like mind playing and what's it's trying to accomplish. And then the loud noise completely throws you off the edge of your seats because it's getting, and it's chilling. But the one thing I thought that this movie did was that, which was cool, because they always went inside this artifact room and they never really explained some of this stuff. And a lot of it is like urban legend, which you can look up. But and this movie did a good job of using everything. Like when you go in the room and you see the stuff, this movie actually does use every bit of anything that was in any focal point of this movie. So it was cool because it's like, why are they showing that? Wonder how that got in there. And then they actually used it in the movie. So I thought that was good. This movie used a lot of teenage logic, which I like to call like the unreasonable thing that us adults say we wouldn't do, but all the kids would do type of thing. A ton of teenage logic. A lot of crowd commentary. The crowd was completely in for it. The don't do that, or the and all that other type of good stuff. Thought the crowd was completely invested in stuff like that. But I don't think this movie did anything to advance the plot, and not the plot of the Annabelle saga or even anything in the Conjuring universe. I don't think it did a good job of advancing at all. I do not get the miss me saying, and I don't get where the comes home thing is. I mean, if you watch Annabelle Origins, I just don't get it. But yeah, other than that, look, that's all I got for this movie. I think it's a toss up for me if you want to go see it. If you're into horror films, you're big into the Conjuring universe, that you want to give this a try, go for it without a doubt. Maybe a cool Friday night movie on a date. But if not, if it's just if it's not on your list of things to do, I wouldn't say go out the way for it at all, because it didn't do anything for me. I will say this: I really, really, really hated The Nun. It was better than that. I really hated The Nun. But this, it is what it is. I enjoyed it for the moment, for some of the moments it was, but again, I thought there was some issues in it that that just didn't make it a really good complete project. But again, hey, I hope you're liking the reviews. Please subscribe, talk to me in the comments, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys for the next review coming up very soon.